Hello there everyone, this is Mark 3 and welcome back to From the Depths, Small Fries. Yes, I did not forget about this, it's just, well, I've been listening to the voices in my head again. I'm not good enough. Anyway, moving on. Welcome back to Small Fries, where I'm trying to play through the campaign of Netta, and it's only using vehicles up to a certain size. Like, the length limit is somewhere around 50 to 70 meters roughly. I'm not going to be too retentive about that. It's like, there are going to be exceptions, but as a general rule, most vehicles are going to be 50 or under. So, hey, small vehicles only, and see how well we do. And as you can see, we are back with the harvester units. We are just happily mining stuff, but there are a few things I need to quickly note before we actually get underway. First off, while there has been an absence of Small Fries content, I have not actually stopped tinkering or poking around. It's just the voices saying it's not anything anyone would be interested in, so that's why there's not been any content about them. I'm trying to do better about that, but let's just say that my my list of stuff for Small Fries has changed a little bit. Yes, there's all sorts of stuff in here. There's also, I've jammed stuff into the designs in progress section as well, so it's like I've not stopped tinkering, I've not stopped thinking about this series, it's just I've not done anything with it. As I do, I suppose. But yeah, there are plenty of things still in here, and I plan to get back to it. Though, as you can probably see from the previous screenshots, another big thing that's been happening is that in the last month-ish, since the previous episode, I've actually worked out how to do decent planes. Yes, gas shock horror, I know. But yeah, I've actually managed to get some planes sorted out, and I can build them. Planes were, I think, one of the vehicle types I couldn't actually do before now, so that's an option, I suppose. And we've got some that seem to be about ready to go. But anyway, yeah, moving on. I'd also like to note, by the way, that we've actually had a restart on the campaign. Last time we saw the Javelin getting absolutely shredded, and gotta be honest, that was actually the bulk of my resources. And my resource pocket was depleted and all that stuff, so we were actually completely out in terms of materials, and resupplying after that would have been a huge pain. We were just unlucky enough to run up against the Marlin, which is actually a godly design from Deepwater Guard, and the rockets were perfectly suited to shredding a smallish boat like the Javelin, so basically, we bumped our nose on something nasty that was a hard counter, and it actually wrecked all reasonable progression for the campaign playthrough. So, yeah, we're back at our starting resource deposit. As you can see, the harvester is slightly tinkered. It's got extra resource storage on the underside. It's got extra repair stuff on top. It's got a little crane which I bolted onto the side with a magnet or something on it. I don't really know. It's like me trying to be decorative, I suppose you could say. Don't know how it turned out, but it's the thing. And another thing I want to mention is the scouting unit has actually been updated. I forget if we actually named this little blighter, but it's recoloured, it's reshaped, it is now fully functional. I just wanted to show it to you before I unleashed it and let it go off and do spying stuff, so we're going to let it go now. Bye-bye. Sword of Omens. Show me sight beyond sight, things beyond things. Tell me where the enemy are so I can whack them with the blunt side of the sword. Or a mallet, whatever's closest to hand. I don't know where I was going with that, but hey. Okay. Sorry, I think that was a bit loud. Now, the theme for today's episode is not going to be random stuff. So, let's start with random stuff. there's something else we need to do. It's a little bit of housekeeping, just to get started. And then I plan to conquer some territory. So we're going to be moving. There's something I need to react to, which is this. Material Gatherer gathers 1 material per second when in a resource zone. Oh. Game devs, what have you done? The material gatherers seem to have been nerfed at some point. And in answer to that, I'm actually going to need to expand my resourcing capacity, because previously just this number of resources was enough to harvest a zone this size. But with how badly they've reduced how much they actually harvest, we need some supporting harvesting units. It's going to be something small, just a very little drone, which I'll then attach to this blueprint with the blueprint sub-vehicle spawner on the back here. And then we can set this to individually have enough of them appear to help this central resourcing unit out whenever we're at a resource deposit. So that's the plan. Just get some small harvester drones rather than extensively modify the actual main harvester itself. So let's begin with our first build, and then we'll get on to actually the no doubt more interesting part, which is blowing up random stuff. Well, preferably random enemy stuff, but I think you get the distinction there, don't you? Okay, here we go. Okay, this is what I've worked out. Nothing too fancy here. It's oh yeah. Okay, what I've got here is a bank of 10 material gatherers, a AI mainframe, complete with 3 PIDs, which are set for pitch, roll, and hover. Yes, let's keep it stable. Enough of a battery supply to power everything, so it's got all that. It can run the harvesters, it can run its jets. The jets, they are, well, the one on the inside is actually a ion thruster, that's the lift one. Everything else is for pitch and roll stabilization. They are set to 1/10 of regular jet power, just because this is a really light vehicle, so, you know. It's either that or have it wobbling uncontrollably, and I just want this thing to be a little stable hover platform which hangs about and does its own thing. So that's kind of what this thing does, as it is right now. And so that I don't have to mess around with the main harvester units, this thing is equipped with its own RTG as well, which, well, we've got like, we can spare like 50% power on this thing, honestly, so while I was just poking around with it, I told it not to, but I'll tell it to keep 70%. It keeps no material at all. It is in group 1, so that way this thing harvests material, and then it goes straight back to the main harvester unit there, and that's what it does. So yeah, this thing is just going to hang around and do its own thing, basically. My last bit of plan is I'm going to give this thing a coating to protect itself in case it does bump into something, or to protect whatever it bumps into as well. But apart from that, yeah, this little harvester drone is pretty much done. Just a little bit more, and then we can get on to the explosive stuff. Looking very, very stealthy and sleek and black, isn't it? Yep, I think we might be able to win here. Yeah, I'll try applying some paint to it, I guess, but it is rubber coated, so it's mostly protected against any kind of collision damage. I have force stabilized the pitch system, since that was actually slightly unbalanced before now. So now any kind of pitching force won't apply any kind of vertical lifts to it. And it, yeah, it's hanging quite happily in the air, so yeah. I think we've got ourselves a little keeper. Not sure what to call it, but I think, as my cousin, I'll let you guys suggest names for it. So let's see how it turns out when I give it a lick of paint. And then, yeah, explosives. And Dunzo! Okay, we've got our little sub-vehicle spawners. We've got 3 of them floating around to support our main unit. And I swapped out the drone part for a blueprint spawner on the actual main craft itself. So that lets me just spawn these guys in. So as minimum, as I understand it, when I build one of these guys, it's going to automatically have one of these added in for its fleet. So, yay! Look, I'm not really experienced with drone carriers and stuff, though I should probably get good really fast because I plan to use drones for a bit right now. So, at the very least, I'm going to be getting some hands-on experience with it. Yeah, look at them just hanging around, quite happily harvesting. I'm already up to 68,000 odd resources. So we're not exactly short at the moment. We could even rebuild a javelin almost at this point. Well, probably several javelins. How far did a javelin come along? Let's have a look. A javelin class. The Mark II, 0.8. Yeah, it's about 90,000. So yeah, that's looking pretty good so far. Anyway, right, moving on. I promised explosives. Now, in the interest of getting moving, I'm going to spawn something cheaper than yon javelins. So yeah, there we go. And we've got 2 approaches here. We can spawn in a test version of a plane. We can spawn in a test version of a big plane. That's the 3rd option, actually. Or the one that I'm really thinking about is actually spawning in a missile drone, which will require a carrier to go with it. So that will require a little bit of building. Though we could see how the planes handle. The problem with the planes, though, is they don't actually have that much endurance. So they ideally... how should I put this? My planes run on a steam turbine drive. Don't get me wrong, it's great for power in a relatively compact package, but the way the campaign calculates steam is when it's out of play. Oh, look at that, they're just bumping into each other, and it doesn't care in the slightest, does it? It calculates the burn rate to maintain power, and then it drains those resources constantly from it. So I think they're burning resources excessively. So that's it. These guys are harvesting pretty well. No, I will load in. I keep hitting load campaign. I've not got used to this button being there. Right. Where is it? I'm going to load in the missile drone. Yes. If you remember the small missile crafts I showed you an episode or so back, like I know you remember this one. This one with like 3 biggish missile racks around the sides of it, and then there's the there was another one. It was a really small one, but it wasn't a missile unit. It was one I bolted some small guns onto. But no, this one's actually a dedicated drone. It's only like 6,144 each, and my plan is to have a bunch of these in a carrier unit, and the carrier unit carries them from battle to battle. But you'll see when we get to it. But I'll latch in place. It's alloy coated, which I'm okay with for a light unit, but I don't like alloy outer skin, metal underskin. So that's my problem with the javelin right now. I reconfigured it for that based on recommendations from people, but after testing I just didn't like it. So for anything of any kind of size, I think I prefer double metal for a hull. So yeah, that just going out there, putting that out there, just in case. Anyway, as you can see, this thing is here. It's very slender. It's like a dart kind of thing. I'll strip away the outer hull so you can see it. And it's very simple inside. The rear section is just the battery pack. It was originally fitted with an ECM system, but I couldn't figure out a way to turn it off when it's docked to its mothership, so that was a constant power drain I didn't want. So the result is I swapped it out with a repair drone, and I increased the battery efficiency, so so this thing lasts longer without being resupplied. But this thing can't supply itself, though. This thing will run out of power by itself and ditch in the water. It can't supply its missiles by itself either. It's got this rack here of 16 missiles. It sustains them really readily, and it's got 2 ammo packs in it, so you know it can grab some stuff and then just fly away. It's got its own onboard resource box. That is just so that it can pick up any kind of resource it flies over, and then the idea is that it immediately dumps it, much like the resource drones in the background over there do. So it'll feed those readily straight back to its controlling vehicle, and acts like a mobile resource pickup if it flies over something that got destroyed. That's really the idea there. But this thing needs a constant supply of electric and a constant supply of ammo when it's actually in a fight. More interesting though, as you can see, it's actually a jet. Despite its appearance of a rocket, it's a jet. It's got rudders, it's got roll, it's got elevators and things. So yeah, this thing is actually a functional jet, despite what it looks like. And it's a fast one too. If I'll just unlock it here. So yeah, it's just doing its own thing, quite happily, yeah. But that's because it's running on low power mode since it's out of combat. If I bring up the information though, this should tell us max speed 100 meters per second clocked on this thing, so 100 meters per second. So this thing is a nippy little blighter. Admittedly, one of these by itself is not going to do that much, but this thing is more strength than numbers thing, so it's lots of high X and EMP missiles just going in. But I've kind of tinkered this thing so it just it hangs around. It's very evasive, and it's very hard to hit down. It's kind of hard to knock out of the sky without you know, homing weaponry or instant hit weaponry. Cannons in particular aren't very good against it. But that's the general thing. So I'm going to whip up a basic carrier unit for this, and then we're going to send it off and do some conquering. Well, this and others. It's not going to go in by itself. No way. Oh, Ion Mark III. Pray tell, what madness are you up to? Well, the madness I am up to is that I have no idea what I'm doing, so I am trying to be a little bit redundant, if that makes any kind of sense. Yes. Okay, so my thought is this. Since I'm not sure how this craft is going to turn out, how big it's going to be, how much will be optimal, that kind of thing, then I want to try and make sure that this thing can be future-proof to a certain extent. So, here is my chain of thought. What I want is this craft to be able to bring in a couple of drones for each of these. So what I've built here is like a docking section. So as you can see, I've got the support drone docked in, that just right there. And each of these will hold 2. Then if I decide I want to extend the design, I'll just cut the front off it, and then yeah, just cut the front off it, prefab, extend, add more drones, rinse, repeat, ad infinitum. Honestly, 6 of those little missile drones can absolutely destroy a Moray, taking little to no return fire damage. So these things are actually pretty good against anything that's not a direct counter to them. So that's one thing. But the plan for this carrier is I'm leaving the central section empty. So it's going to be like just this hollow bracing kind of format. I mean, sure, that helps with the modularity and all that jazz, but it's also there very deliberately as well. And that is because I also plan for this thing to be like, it holds off at long distance. This thing wants to stay out of the fight as much as possible. It's going to have massive resource capacity so that it has really big resource range. That way it can easily resupply these drones when they're a long distance out. But I'm thinking give this thing like heavy weapons, like big missile launchers, like primary cannons, you know, just like sniping style weaponry. It'll have some stuff to protect itself if the enemy gets in too close, because let's be honest, the enemy will try and hunt this thing down because it's a big quacking target. Of course they're going to try and smash it. But ideally this thing will provide some punch which will help the drones out, because the drones can't take care of everything themselves. And so, you know, they're going to need some kind of fire support, ideally. At least that's the plan. How good this is going to turn out, well, it's going to be anyone's guess, really. But for now, I think just to get the ball rolling, we're going to wind up with one of these section, an engine section on the back where the bulk of the power supply is going to be, and an armoured nose cone kind of thing. And then that's going to be it as far as this particular piece goes. And it'll be expanded, and main cannons will actually be added and things as we move on. But right now, I'm just making sure it looks nice. Is that silly of me? Maybe. Who could tell? But it is what it is. Besides, having a solid detection / carrier platform to start with, I think, will pay itself back going forward, especially if I continue to develop this drone-heavy style of approach for it. And of course, we can't have this without having some stairs. Because everyone knows you've got to have stairs on the carrier, right? Of course you do. Okay, I've got the basic piece for my prow section. Just need to... refab. I mean, we've got to keep the building style, haven't we? Got to keep the nose style going. Yes. I think a little bit of extra length wouldn't hurt, though. Yes. Bit of length. Why am I talking to myself? Ah. Well, that's what you pay for being a YouTuber. You talk to yourself. Comes with the territory, doesn't it? Well, as usual from the depths, building overruns. So, it's not quite ready to deploy. And I don't have time to finish it. So I'm going to deploy an existing stock vehicle. I'm thinking the Javelin Mark II, so the Javelin gets some success, at least, for the final part of this video. And we'll be picking up with the drone carrier next time after... Well, it gives you guys a chance to weigh in with a little bit of feedback, doesn't it? At the very least. Real talk, though. Is the 50, 60-ish odd length restriction too much, do you guys think? I mean, I actually find it very difficult to build in that kind of range, and in particular, this drone carrier is actually 62. If I want to extend it to 6, it's going to probably hit 80 or something like that. I mean, the rear section's going in now. The forward section's got some engines, electrics, and stuff like that. But getting my distinctive shape makes my craft longer. So, do you guys think it's fair if I say the limit is about 100? Rather than about 50 to 60, maybe 70-ish at an outside? Because, honestly, part of it wants to say 100 is still decent, because it's still on the small side for most people. So I kind of want a little bit of feedback on that. Should small fries include 100-meter-ish crafts? I don't know. But sadly, we'll have to wait until next time to see the drone flyer actually getting stuck into things, because, as I said, I'm a bit out of time. So we're going to get in a Javelin Mark II, and we'll show you what that can do. Yes. The Javelin will do good. Sadly, I don't quite have time to go over the things that have happened to it since last time as well, especially since I need to refresh myself on that as well. But hey, at least there's going to be combat in this episode. There's going to be conquest and glory and things going boom. That last one in particular is the most important, I think. Yes. Okay, here we go. Yes. There was something I forgot to mention earlier on in the episode. As part of the upgrade to the Scout, I really need to check on the comments on the previous videos, see if we actually got names for these guys. Sorry about that if I did pick a name and I've since lost track of it. As well as getting some nice new paint jobs and stuff on the Scout units, it's also got a range increase as well, so we can see a bit more clearly what's going on. And as you can see, Deepwater Guard is trying to reinforce fairly rapidly. The one north of me is 107, so not quite as high as it was when we smashed into it last time. But they've already got like a fleet over here and 2 other fleets over here moving to reinforce it. So That area seems to get ramped up really quickly, so I bumped my nose on something painful last time I played. I'd completely forgotten about that. I've forgotten a lot of stuff, honestly. But then, if we look at this though, this is also somewhat concerning. These guys are okay, 25,000 odd each, that's 75 total there. This one is also okay, an 89,000 material vehicle. But the first fleet that was already heading towards that particular square is this one, which is 2 monkey barrels. Monkey barrels. Target practice. But it's led by a Kraken, which I'm not familiar with. I never was too familiar with the built-in designs. But the Kraken apparently is a 250,000 cost vehicle. So that's several times more than my sum total resources heading to reinforce that square there. So if something like that was deployed last time, it's no wonder that square was at 150 garrison. Oh well, anyway, moving along south, we're going to get into a fight here. We might get into a fight over here if we get time to. We've got like 5 minutes left on the episode-ish. But right now we're only against like a couple of coyotes, so we should be a-okay. My javelin is pretty well stocked, though I would notice javelin's not exactly that efficient for fuel. And because I want you to at least see one in action, we've got a missile drone along as well. So it's just a spare missile drone spawned in by itself. There's the mothership and the 4 drones already over there, so yes. Let's get us into a fight then. So at least you'll get to see what the missile drone tries to do. You know? At least you'll get to see what it does. But this is going to be a cakewalk kind of situation now. Okay. Show them, my pretties. Show them what you do. And that's what the missile drone does. It's like, ooh, I'm at the right range. I'm just going to dart all over the place and say hell with this while I throw missiles all over. And full confession, I'd actually completely forgotten how... I'd forgotten what my plan with the javelin after the last episodes. Please forgive me, it has been a while. But this javelin Mark II is actually only about maybe 3/4 built. The weaponry seems to be working just fine. As a quick look, it's actually got an underslung torpedo launcher, like a big torpedo launcher, and that works against any ships, of course. So it's got extra weaponry packed into it and stuff like that as well. But I'm going to have to re-watch the previous part and double check exactly how much has been shown of the design. I mean, I know I've shown you guys the guns. The 2 turrets on it. Yeah, look, that guy just wandered off all the way over there. The drones do like to wander around.
Receiving.
But yeah, the javelin's internal bulkheads are not there. It's got still air gaps and things. It's
moving now.
It's a work in progress.
Now.
And if I recall, my plan was to actually finish up this episode. But it's been too long. I need to catch back up. Prepare for trouble. Make it double. Team Rocket is blasting off again. Well, I'm not Team Rocket. I'm not seeing all the Pokemon, but yeah. Okay. We do have a slight situation going on. I am in this new area, which is 2 coyotes. Check. It is a Sinner's Outpost. Check. So we can get the first resource zone expansion. It's not a bad one, actually. It's got a huge reserve as well, so planting a harvest unit down on this will be quite handy. Oh, and apparently we're going to need some active defenders available over in this area, because I just spotted another fleet has appeared. 3 wanders. Is that much? Not especially, but we'll need to make sure I've got some active ships to stop it. So yeah, we need to spawn as much defenders. However, my little territorial expansionist fleet down here has attracted the attention of 2 of the reinforcement fleets that are heading towards the territory over there. So I think you are just a bit too far forward, aren't you? Let's back you off slightly. But you need some guards. So yeah, we've got this fleet coming in with the Snapjaw. and this one is going to come and weigh in as well, most likely, with another snapjaw. So we'll see how well these handle. A half-built javelin, which is about the same price, plus a single missile drone. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay.
Receiving.
I'll force the coyotes in first. Easy pickings. My 4.8k versus the Deep War Skies 0.9. That is fine. I'll also involve that guy as well. Luckily, the snapjaw is too far away to really be forced into this, so should be okay. Oh yeah, look at that incoming fast missiles. Oh, nuke. What the heck was that? Wait, doesn't this outpost have some kind of drone or something? I forget. But look at the missile drone though, so it's like, it's having a whale of a time up there. Basically just, I feel like the appropriate song for that little drone is "Na na na, can't touch this," or whatever heck that is. But you can see my return fire going out clean as day. Yeah, these little guys, not a problem. We'll see how it does against an equivalent design though, in the form of the snapjaw. If we can handle all this, we've got ourselves an outpost. And yes, the episode is running slightly long here, but we do have incoming, so, you know, I feel like it's warranted. Let's see, 4.4, 5.6, I will increase... Actually, no. Let's leave a 9k cap, 4k and 6k. No, wait, is the snapjaw the only enemy? It is. Fine, bring everything. We'll see how we do. That'll do. Yes. So, snapjaw, what are we up against? We are up against, oh. Oh, it's a Sharky boy! Okay. And we can tell exactly which missiles are coming from the missile drone. Oh, it does love to just fling things all over the darn place. But snapjaw. Very good looking design, that, actually. In fact, it's dodging it well enough that my cannons are struggling to hit it. And what's this? A shield that's actually doing something? Wow. I'd given up on shields in the current version, but it seems like I need to test some more at the very least. I really don't like most of the shield changes, but I actually spotted some shots being deflected by the snapjaw. Too bad it's kind of beached itself. Oh dear. Yeah, I think we've got this. The snapjaw isn't really a match for what the force we've got available to us. Well, that said, why have the cannons stopped? Oh, we're out of ammo. Oh, I never gave you ammo processors, did I? Whoops. Oh well, noted, I guess. Also, why the heck are you rolling so badly? Are you damaged, or what's going on? No, you're not damaged, so why are you rolling like that? I'm confused. Now you've got roll stabilizing. Well, you should do. Oh, I see. You're not set up, are you? Your rollers. Wait. What the heck's going on? Oh, you're running around. Oh, no, 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 no. You're not allowed to. Stop it. Back up. What is wrong with you? Well, now, this is going to be the end of the episode, I think, because well, this guy is planning to get him beaten up. But more interestingly, the javelin's out of the fight. I've actually shut off its AI system completely. Oh, was that it? Are you dead? Oh, you're dead. Okay. Right. This is what's happened to the javelin. It's somehow wound up upside down in the shallows and isn't able to ride itself. So it's like something very strange happened there. Oh well. I guess the question is, how close is the thing? Oh, good. Not quite close enough so I can actually afford to write my craft. Because I don't know what the heck happened there. Obviously the Javelin 2 needs some small measure of fixing. And yeah, that's going to happen, I think, between episodes, because I'm not sure what was going on there. I need to check over the design. But yeah, this has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the show, and I'll catch you all some other time. Yes, hopefully with a javelin that actually works. Who knows, stranger things have happened, I suppose. See you all later. What the heck happened to you? Oi, stop running aground, darn it. Ah, dear.
Moving now. Moving now. Moving now.
Oh, great. It's got the attention of the Kraken. Well, that's going to end well.